Welcome back to StoryPower Masterclass Online. I'm your host, J Loren Norris, also your instructor through this entire course. We're going to dive right into this first module with a key question. This question, why do stories matter? So let's ask that question. So what are some of the reasons that stories matter? Well, it is the #1 lead generating tool of all time. Stories are the ability for your client to be your brand impression. I tell people all the time, it's not about your color scheme or your logo or your design or even the best quality website. While all of those things are very important, do not underestimate their power. Your brand is really the story people tell about you when you walk out of the room. So stories are the #1 lead generating tool of all time. When somebody stops you in a coffee shop, they recognize your fancy car or your fancy suit and they say to you, "Wow, you're very impressive. What do you do?" The answer to that question should be a very brief story that explains who you help and why. Stories are the #1 lead generating tool of all time. Next, it is the most cost efficient and effective form of marketing. It is the most cost efficient and effective form of marketing. When other people can tell a story about you, hey, I worked with so-and-so and this is what they did for me. They saved me a lot of money. They built a better website. They built a new widget for me. They got me free of the problems that I had. They helped me to solve the problem that I was facing. Those stories will change your life because you can't beat word of mouth advertising. There is no form of marketing or advertising that is more effective than a constant referral stream of people who are like, well, I know you helped so-and-so, you did a phenomenal job, help me do the same thing. There is no better stream of new business than a stream of referrals. And there's nothing that costs less than a good referral. There is nothing that you can spend money on that will cost you less money than a good referral. What else? It's the #1 most powerful way to become a trusted authority. Again, when you look at the idea of someone else bragging on your business and you don't have to do it, the story they're telling about you is going to build your business faster than anything you can do in branding. That's just a true story. There's nothing you can do about it. Also remember, though, that you will become a trusted authority because the things that you have expertise in, you have demonstrated your ability to be an expert in. You've actually helped people solve the problem that they're facing. That's why stories matter so much, because you're not just telling the story, you're providing a solution that someone else now has a story to tell about you. You can help them by telling those stories in the first place, not just doing the work, but telling the story behind the work. Why do you do what you do? Who do you help? How do you help them? If that's embedded in a story, they're much more likely to remember that than a resume, than a bullet list on a brochure, than a website that has 15 forms to fill out. No, it's that short story that you tell in the grocery store line or over the gas pump. That's the story that your clients will be telling everybody else when they talk about the service you've provided them and how well you've done it. Word of mouth advertising, it's the best testimony. And that testimony is planted from the very first conversation that you have with a potential client to the very last exit question you ask them after you've served them. Now, I want you to take this module and I want you to take a few minutes and grab your journal and start writing down some of the things. If you've got a website that has some referrals on it, you've got a website with some testimonials on it, maybe they're on your LinkedIn page or in your Facebook profile, I want you to go back and pull some of those referrals out and I want you to compile them all into one place. I want you to put them in your journal and I want you to head the top of that journal with stories others tell about me. Stories others tell about me. Because this will be your client testimonial page. This will be the stories that you will tell. This will be, as we craft your speech later on, this will be that section we call social proof. The stories others have told about you. This will define what you're good at, what you're an expert at, and what others can expect to receive from your service. Take the time now before you jump into the next module, and I want you to write out as many of those as you can find, compile them into one place. I'll see you in the next module.